What is going on, everyone? How are you? Can you hear me? Everything going good? All that good stuff? See if I can get to this. See where we're at. Live stream. I got some. There we go. Hamilton County, Indiana, but hate the state. Jerry Ann, you can hear me good. I got this new ball here. It's supposed to cut down the outside noise. I recorded a video today, though, and it seemed kind of hollow, so I don't know if we're going to go with it past today's video. All right, 5 viewers. So I know the idea is to get as many concurrent viewers on a live stream as possible, but I'll tell you what, when we get up to the 400 area, it's next to impossible to maintain. I like to be able to talk to you guys and chat with you guys and answer your questions, but when I get like 400 people on here, it's next to impossible. Monticello, Arkansas. Hello from Beavertown. Beaverton, hey, right down the road, huh? Or are you in another Beaverton? There's several Beavertons in the United States. Ooh, you're in Chicago. You know, that's one thing I years ago I had a Chicago style hot dog, but last few times I've been there, I haven't had one of their hot dogs. Saturday came, does it say Saturday Night Live? No, okay. Saturday came early for, no, not, I just decided to do it on Friday. Monticello, okay, Monticello. Kind of like here in Oregon, I used to, well, it's right next, the next little area over is called Aloha, but it's spelt Aloha. We just call it Aloha here. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button too on this. All right. Oh, you're next to us. Oh, Hillsborough. Okay. Gotcha, gotcha. In that Beaverton. The Beaverton I'm in right now. I tend to Zoom class more often than I watch live streams, so kind of feel like I'm in a classroom right now. Yeah, that is a new part of American life now. Live streams are really a lot like how people have been going to school or having meetings. It's really weird. I've been talking about this a little bit on my channel and on live streams, but so many different companies are now, since the pandemic, have realized they don't need a giant office building for, you know, call center jobs, things like that. If you send your people home, you can save a mint on leases and everything else. South Dakota, how are you, Stephanie? Avon by the Sea. Ah, Avon by the Sea. California used to be big on that. Matter of fact, where I grew up, where I owned a house, it was called South Redondo, but technically it was called Clifton by the Sea. And then sometimes in the 70s, they changed it to just Clifton, and then nobody called it Clifton, so they just called it South Redondo. And then you have Carmel by the Sea. And Venice, California used to be called Venice by the Sea. Most people called it Debris by the Sea because that place is nasty. I'm doing good, Stephanie. Huntsville, Alabama, one day somewhere else. That's how most people feel in Huntsville. Huntsville's really not that bad. So Alabama's kind of strange because it's got some places that suck. Every place does, but that's what gets the most press. You know, you got your Birmingham and things like that, and then the rural areas are not too great in Alabama, and that's all anyone knows about. But some of the places like Huntsville, they're pretty nice. Mobile, I like Mobile. Nope, that didn't work properly. Rick, hey, HD, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. The Mormons use their religion. Levi style. Usually it's the other way, Michael, with religion. Let me read this in case anyone's watched this later. I do not like Utah. The Mormons use their religion in the state to legalize stuff that the rest of the United States will put you in prison for doing. So normally, religion works the opposite. You know, they try and outlaw things that are legal in states. 9 months into a membership, after adding my new bank account to the system, $9. Is it worth it? It is worth it. Hope you're doing great. I am doing great, Christine, sorry. Voices, love it. Thank you, a strong young woman. I make my living off my voice. Mayfield, Kentucky tornado last year. I do not know that one. If your name wasn't Brigadoon, would you want it to be Jim Bob? No. Well, thanks, Christine. I like having that's my voice has made me money over the years. See, this is good. Nice, relaxing, 15 people in here. I can read your comments. I really thought you were in your 20s because your voice. A lot of people do. I get that all the time. Everyone seems to think I'm in my 20s. Nope. Yeah, Utah, I guess most states are, I think there's just kind of been this shift in American society where they're starting to, I don't know, the people are starting to vote people in, or maybe the new politicians, new people in charge of stuff are a little bit younger and they realize that things like weed aren't as bad. So, it's getting legalized throughout the country. And then it's kind of like that, I have this formulated thing in my head that I haven't worked out, but things are getting different and they're letting us do a lot more stuff that they used to not let us do, like alcohol to go. That's, that was something that was totally taboo. You couldn't get an alcohol drink to go at a restaurant. That's crazy. Only places like New Orleans and Las Vegas did that. Well, now most states will let you do that. Well, a lot of them, I shouldn't say most. Skate parks. Okay, so skate parks used to be all over the place in the 70s, and they were run by businesses, and they would cost money to get in, so a lot of kids would just skate in parks. And then they tried to run all the kids out of the parks, and then they realized that wasn't working, so why don't we build them their own skate parks so they could stay away from the businesses? And now there's skate parks everywhere. When I was a kid, I would have loved that. They didn't have it. And then the weed and the alcohol things, it's weird how we're shifting and we're allowed to do things that they tried to stop us from doing back in the day. What country do I want to visit? There's a few different countries I want to visit. Iceland's one of them. Trying to listen to me from work, Douglas? Sweet. What are my favorite things to do when visiting Seattle that might not be popular spots? Well, so everyone's going to tell you to go to the market there, the fish market. I can't even think of what it's called right now. Someone will tell me in the comment section. Myself, I like some of their museums they have, and like the Museum of Pop Culture. I mean, those are kind of touristy things, but I like doing that. I really like to eat the food. They got a lot of weird food places there. Like the Biscuit Bitches. Go to that. Oh no, are we frozen? Hold on a second, guys. Can you hear me? Pike's Marcus. Hold on one second. What happened? Why are we frozen? Okay, give me a second here, guys. There we go. That is not a good look where I'm frozen at. There, whew. Glad that got fixed. That look on my face looked like I just got kicked in the nuts. It'll probably do that again. Let me know if it does, and I'm not paying attention. I just got to flick a button here. That's really weird. I wonder why it does that. So what happens is I've always been looking for a better software to use on my live streams or whatever. And so I've tried several different ones. And I was trying this one by this company called New Blue. They sent it to me. I tried it. It wasn't freezing, but it was doing other things that I didn't like. And it was a little too complicated. They have some bugs to work out on it. So I went back to vMix, which I've used forever. And I don't think I have the camera set up right, and it might freeze again, so I'll just flick that button when it does again. Singing Italian ballet. Yeah, that's true. That's what I look like. This is nice. 18 people, 19 people right now. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Will I ever do a video? I don't know. I'm working on one right now for Ukraine. That was Delta. Yeah, I'm working on a video about the Ukraine. You know our What's Up series? Well, I'm doing that for the Ukraine, so that should be entertaining. Pennsylvania. I'm doing good tonight, Baltimore area tech. How are you? Okay, here's a good question. Any interest? I do plan on doing some more food reviews. I get asked that a lot, and I never do. Normally, when I go eat, I start eating, but it's something that I've wanted to start doing. Haven't yet. So here's a question. I've been curious, how long does it take from idea to upload to put together a video? Okay, that's a good, solid question. So I have a whole bunch of ideas that just go through my head. So the beginning part, that could be months. Yeah, but I just write it down. I have a couple boards, and I put it on the computer and in my phone. So it can sit there for months. Then I happen to go through it. I'm like, oh, this was a good idea. But when I finally sit down to research something, I usually spend at least 3 or 4 hours getting the stats ready. So that's one thing. Then once I have the stats together, I write out a script, which usually takes me an hour or so. And then I record it, which usually takes me about 2 hours when I do all the editings and all that. And then I give the videos to Thor, who's my son, and he does all the video editing. And then, you're talking probably in man hours, in total about 12 to 13 man hours of actually working on it. Maybe not that much, about probably 10 to 12. Do part 2 YouTube relationships with America. I like that video. It never did that good. That bummed me out. Hey, West Virginia, how are you? I really liked that. I found that study, and I went over the study, and I learned about it, and the American people and their relationship with YouTube, and it didn't do that well. It really bummed me out. Does my family enjoy the cold like you do? Everyone but my wife. My wife's a beach girl. She's a Latina. They like it hot. She really enjoyed living by the beach in Southern California. But since we had kids, no matter what age, it was always we run a democratic household. We all vote, and everyone gets an equal vote. Unless it's something stupid, then I've got to put the kibosh on it, right? But we all voted who wants to move to Oregon. She's the only one that voted no. So she knows the deal, so she moved up here too. She's not keen on the cold. She'd probably prefer the heat a lot more, but she deals with it. Well, my family's real last name is Rolofsson, so it's a Norwegian thing. My kids do watch YouTube. Before I even started this, I worked for Comcast for a while, Xfinity. And I had, you get free cable. So I had cable box in my son's room. And one day I went in there. I'm like, hey, your cable box is not even plugged in. And he goes, I don't think I watch cable at all. I've never turned on that TV. I'm all, do you watch anything? And he's all, I watch YouTube. And I was all, I didn't know anything about YouTube at the time. This was like 7, 8 years ago. I knew very little about it. So that was my first experience that I realized YouTube was much bigger than I ever thought it was. How much would someone need to make to live comfortably in my area? I would say to live comfortably, you're probably going to want $2,000 to $2,500 a month. That's just to get by. Comfortably, $3,000 and up. That's your take home. Swimming. We used to call my youngest son the Gimp. It sounds wrong because there's nothing wrong with him. He wasn't gimpy or he didn't anything like that. But when he was a baby and he crawled, he just drug 1 foot behind him. Used it kind of like a pushing mechanism. And then he'd drag it and then push again. It was weird. Boston! I'm doing good. How are you, Boston boy 34? Love those Latinos too, Dregs. Steak or lobster? I'll go with steak. Boom, 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 boom. Saw your video about people that tourists find to be rude. I think Americans find Mexico to be rude. Americans like to constantly stare at. Yeah, Mexico's weird. A lot of people do find, Southern California, I've been down to Mexico, God knows how many times, mostly in the border area. And I found the people kind of rude. The further you go down in Mexico, away from from the U.S.-Mexico border, it gets a lot nicer. The people do, at least. It's not me, 07. How are you? How do I feel about Tacoma? I like Tacoma. There's nothing wrong with it. It's very much like Seattle if you took away Seattle's downtown. I mean, everything else, the neighborhoods, very much remind me of Seattle, just half the price, it seems like. Wallop. When people ask you what to make specialized videos, what would you tell them to do their own research? No, I usually take in most good ideas. Some ideas aren't the best, and I have told people I just don't think that would really work. Yeah, I usually listen to people's ideas. The one thing I don't like doing is I have enough competition, and I used to get questions from people all the time about where I get my stats and all that stuff, and who I get my stats from, and can I send them a link to those stats? No, I'm not helping you do my job. You figure it out yourself like I do. That's what I always tell them. No, you figure out how to do the research too. It took me a long time to figure this stuff out. George Carlin. My favorite place to visit? I like the rural parts of Pennsylvania. I like the coastal areas of Alaska. So, Hakeem the goat, I will tell you, Hakeem's the goat. I think Mississippi is in the last place. Louisiana runs a second to last place. But Arkansas is starting to show promise in a lot of different areas. And a lot of these cheaper states are going to start moving up the food chain when it comes to people moving there. West Virginia has already seen it. They were the fourth most, if you look at the rate of how many, if you take 100 people and 100 people that are moving, how many are moving out versus how many are moving in? West Virginia came in fourth for that. It's called this annual mover study. And West Virginia is becoming more and more popular. Fewer people moved out and a whole bunch of people moved in. And it's because it's so cheap that people that can work remotely are starting to realize that, and they're moving to West Virginia. West Virginia is beautiful. The people are great, and it's extremely affordable. So I think Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama will all start reaping some of that too. Ghost towns, you can. Does anyone think there's something suspicious surrounding the death of Bob Saget? You know, that always goes through most of our minds. I kind of thought that too, but I don't know. We'll find out. Sometimes when there's a simple explanation for something, most people don't want to accept it. You know, the guy could have hit his head on something. I've hit my head before. Woke up the next day and don't remember hitting my head. So, yeah, that stuff can happen. And, you know, when you're older, you know, you're not as tolerant to damage as you used to be. So I could see him hitting his head, going to bed thinking it was just a bump on his head and cashing in his chips. Oh, now we're cooking. Now we got 34 people. Still better than the 300 we get on the other channel. Leaving Connecticut for West Virginia, that is a smart move if you want to save some money. My teacher also told me that Mexico drivers are rude to American pedestrians. You know, a lot of people in Mexico really don't like Americans at all. That's my experience. But, I mean, I experienced that when I went down there, and I grew up in an all-Mexican neighborhood. I mean, I was the only blonde kid in my whole neighborhood. That's what I grew up around. So that's what I was used to. And then I'd go down to Mexico, and they were, like, rude to me. I'm like, I thought all the Mexican people were just nothing but nice and kind and all that. But, you know what? You're going to find that everywhere. Damon Wayans was okay. His comedy's not the style I like. I like a thinking type comedy. Carlin, Dennis Miller, things like that. This is the other channel. It's all about Briggs. It is all about, no. Any prediction on the future of transportation? I honestly think we're going to see a lot more in the coming years, a lot more, for lack of better words, bullet train, high-speed train, whatever. Mitch Hedberg was good. Bill Hicks over George Carlin. Comedian friend of mine used to get high with Mitch Hedberg all the time. Whenever they'd be on the road together or wherever you'd see him in a comedy club. It's their go-to thing. He said the dude was like extra weird. Sarah Croy, let me see. Tucson, nearest big city to the border, Mexican nationals. I can tell you, can you? Enjoyed Mitch a lot. Sucks he's gone. Yeah, he's been gone, what, 15 years now? You know, he got very little press when he passed away. He was big right when he passed away. I mean, he got huge, and then, I mean, he was enjoying the good life less than a year, I'd say. And he cashed in his chips. It's too bad. Dennis Miller's very arrogant, but that's kind of his act, too. Bill Burr. Bill Burr's another one that I like. Probably my favorite comedian of all time is Dave Attell. I just like that extra weirdness he gets going. Some of the crap he says is just hysterical. Are the Carolinas becoming victims of their own popularity? No, I think they got a good way to go on that one. I think I'm frozen again. There we go. We're back. Hold on. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I wonder what's unplugged. You'll figure that out. Figure that out by the next one. You know, Rodney Dangerfield was great. He just wasn't my type of comedy. Comedy, which most people don't understand, is a lot like music. You know, Metallica can be the greatest musicians of all time, but if you're not into heavy metal, they ain't your type of thing. You know what I mean? Maybe maybe you like light jazz. You know, that's it. They're both great music. It's just some people like light jazz, some people like heavy metal. And so some people they get like, what do you mean Rodney Dangerfield wasn't funny? It wasn't funny to me. I mean, he had some good things, but yeah, Jim Jeffries pretty funny. Don Rickles is a genius. So I'm thinking that the freezing thing happens about every 10 minutes, so just got to be ready for it next time. Smooth jazz. Yeah, Carrot Top, I've never thought he was funny. There used to be a guy that was funnier than him called The Incredible Wid, that did the same thing, prop comic and all that stuff, and he was so much more funny, or so much funnier, so much more funny, whatever the word is. He was more humorous than Carrot Top by a long shot. He just didn't have the, I don't know the word I'm looking for. He didn't have the look. You know, he was an older dude, and people just didn't get into him. Tuna, Texas. Brian Regan. Oh my God, he's amazing. I love his whole story about how he was the kid that had the science project that was due at the end of the year, and he put it off till like the night before every single time. And then there he is with, you know, he's in a class with a kid that usually wets his pants and cries every day and can't even remember how to spell his name, but he's got a working solar system. Another kid, you know, that can't remember to wipe his nose has a perfectly functional, timed volcano, and he's standing there with a cup of dirt. That's Howard Stern's pretty good. I mean, he's genius when you take into consideration that one day he sat down and said, you know what, got to quit censoring myself if I want to make a career. And he's all, no matter what, and he stuck to it. He's going to say whatever's on his mind. Okay. Sorry about that. Tim Hawkins. I don't know who Tim Hawkins is. One second, I gotta work my nose here. Sorry, I don't think you guys need to see me working on my nose like that. Delay, message delay, slow mode. Okay. 41. I didn't get a Guardian shirt yet. Actually, I didn't even have this Indians one till I found out they were changing the name, and I got on Nike.com and ordered this one. Actually, I ordered two of them, and then I ordered a San Diego one and a Dodgers one. What town has the best music scene, in my opinion? Right now, I like a lot of the stuff coming out of Liverpool, England. Charleston, West Virginia has some very interesting music going on there. Um, Asheville, North Carolina has some good music. Those are the ones I should say are kind of surprising. You know, people aren't going to expect music to be coming out of, you know, Charleston, West Virginia, and maybe Asheville's kind of had a thing going on for a while there. But Austin's got a great music scene. It's hard to run. Federal government is overtaken by drug cartels. Yeah, that's the truth about Mexico. Helena, Arkansas. It's Helen. It's how do they pronounce it there? I know they pronounce it weird, like Helena. Helena. I grew up with a girl named Helena. Yeah, you know what? I think. Hey, Denzel, what's going on? Um, I think West Virginia is a smart move for anyone right now. I honestly do. I get people asking all the time, where should they move for this? Where should they move for that? And this is what West Virginia has going for it. One, let's talk about the negatives. It doesn't have any jobs. So if you're going there and you can work remotely, you have a job, or you're retired, perfect state for you. If you're someone that wants to work in a factory or something like that, probably not the best place for you. But if you can bring a job, you're retired, stuff like that, move to West Virginia is absolutely the cheapest housing. It's the cheapest nice housing market. I mean, you can move out to the Arizona outback, far away from the cities, and you're going to find some cheaper housing. But you can actually find within the suburbs of one of the cities like Morgantown or Huntington or Charleston, they got nice homes there, and they're extremely affordable, and their cost of living is rock bottom. So yeah, I'm a big proponent of West Virginia. Ooh, Newark versus Trenton versus Gary. I want to say Gary sucks more than all of them. Thoughts on retreating to Costa Rica? Costa Rica, as far as Central American countries, is probably one of the best options for any American. Yeah, New York taxes will kill you. Virginia is better than West Virginia. Yeah, but it's not cheaper. Yeah, you got to have good internet, and that's something, especially if you're working remotely, that's you're going to check that on your own. I don't need to tell anyone that one. One state that, and that's part of that whole infrastructure deal. They're moving internet out to the more rural areas throughout the country. So, I mean, that stuff's going to start rolling out next year, I believe. So you're going to just start seeing the internet get better all throughout the country. I have a birthday coming up at the end of the month. Has the highest. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what city has the highest GDP per capita. On the Great Loop, the Great Loop. I know of the Loop in Chicago. The Great Loop. What's that one? What's up, Briggs? I'm doing great. How are you, Erics? I have a, you know, so I've told this story on my videos before. Um, I had a military friend from Gary, Indiana. He's grew up in some projects there and just extremely poor African American guy, and he said he wanted to join the military because he felt he was going to be killed in Gary eventually. You know, there's no hope of getting out, so he joined the military. It's pretty bad when you're going to join the military in the army, in the infantry, because you're afraid you're going to get killed in your own hometown. So he joined the military, and he did really good. Extremely smart, well-disciplined soldier is the best way I can explain him. He was really good. I always remember. So one time we're moving through the woods all night, and it's raining, it's pouring, and we get up to this wall thing, and we crawl over the wall, a whole bunch of us, and we're crawling along the mud, and this machine gun starts shooting over our heads. I just remember turning to the side and seeing the look on his face. That almost killed me. But anyway, sadly, back to him. He he went through the army. I think he did 8 years and started going to college and got into the University of in Boulder, Colorado University, Boulder, and got hit by a car and died. Probably about 2 months into his school. It's sad. It always broke my heart. He was a pedestrian. Walked across the street in the crosswalk, and I guess the girl didn't see him or she wasn't paying attention. Just ran him right over. Frozen again. Damn it. All right, I got to start timing those better because those looks that I keep having on my face when that thing freezes up is not appropriate. Yeah, it was too sad. He was God. That guy could run too. Oh my God, he's just like tall, lean, and could just run forever. It's like a marathon runner, and he wasn't even trying. San Diego. In Chicago, I really like the Loop. That's where I like to go. That's where I like to hang out. That's just there. The next time I go, I'm looking up because I'm trying to think of the name. Cicero. Don't know why I couldn't think of it. But in Cicero, Al Capone had a bunch of hideouts and he owned homes there. And I read that a lot of them are still standing. I want to go check them out. The frozen look. That's all I need. Just me sitting there, and someone. That's all they see is they learn. They tune in is me going something weird like that. What state would I retire in if kids are gone? Washington. If I don't own a business and I'm, let's see, just collecting money from Social Security or pension or something like that, Washington's the best state to go up on the West Coast because of taxes. There you go, Denzel. What's so funny about that? We'll get on this sugar subject. That it's like I drink all these drinks that have no sugar, and as soon as I cut down sugar, it's like you could see cheekbones on me now. You couldn't before. It's like I haven't changed much of anything, except I cut sugar out of my life. It's really weird. I did kind of, fall off the wagon there during the holidays, but I'm kind of back on it. But yeah, good for you, Denzel. Milwaukee, Wisconsin's nice. When I used to live in the south side of Chicago, I call it Roseland, despite being a safe area. Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad. I wish Chicago would really fix the south side. It's been bad forever. I mean, you think they'd figure out that that's the worst part of the city. Let's go fix it. Figure out something. Need to go keto. Yeah, I don't know about going keto. I'm doing pretty good on just getting rid of the sugar. What are the best parks in the Portland area? Hmm, I don't know. It's a good question. Probably Forest Park's the best park. It's huge. Um, uh, my high school girlfriend used to tell her dad used to tell her all the time the only reason you're going to high school is because you have to. The day you could get out of high school and start going to the community college, that's the smartest thing to do. He's a really smart guy. He's still going. Um, he's an aerospace engineer, and that's what the girls did. They like dropped out of high school about midway through their senior year because he knew they were going to college. They were going to college, and the high school diploma was useless to them. And yeah, see, they didn't waste any time. Just got them in there like 17 and a half. They could finally go to the community college, and they just did. 10 reasons not to move the panhandle. I like the panhandle. What was the name of that Air Force base up there? We had to train up there for like 6 months one time. No, not 6 months, maybe 3. I have. I've been to Point Roberts. I'd like to retire there. Wait, who just said Bob Odenkirk's dead? Elgin Air Force Base. Thank you. Eglin. Eglin, sorry. God, what was the name of that town that was there? I was very young and there was a girl there. I forget. It's like Martin. It's a Spanish sounding name or Mexican. It wasn't Miramar. God, what was that? I forget. Okay. Anyway, where were we? Did you ever take anything personally from email or audience comments? No. I mean, I have this. Uh, if you have a problem with profanity, plug your ears right now. I had a drill sergeant when I was 19. Um, Give me out some wisdom, gave us all the wisdom, and I'm the one that picked up on it, and it's guided me my whole life. And it was, excuse the drill sergeant language, we were all mad at him, and we were obviously pissed. He'd made us, run too far, something like that. And he's all, hey, I don't care if you pissed off me. I don't care if you don't like me. I have a rule in life. If you ain't fucking me and you ain't feeding me, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I was like, that is the most genius thing I've ever heard. Sorry about the language, guys. But, yeah. So, yeah, no. Anything anyone says to me doesn't bother me. I do like giving people a little back, especially if they've been stupid. I look skinny. Thank you, Robert. I am. I've lost a lot of weight. We were just discussing that. I'm thinking of moving to Florida, to Tennessee one day. I'm not much of a beach person. Not good. There you go. Take a look at Chattanooga. I've been talking about that lately. It's getting better. Or it hasn't been as bad as other places, but that's a nice place right now. Being offended is not a skill. Everything is skyrocketing. We're recovering from a downturn in the economy from the pandemic. So, housing, everything from Pez dispensers to houses, it's all gone up in price, and it's because we're readjusting. Yeah, that's about the truth, Dregs. But one thing I've added on there, if you ain't effing me, you ain't feeding me, you ain't, whatever. Um, I've added, I've kind of added if we don't share the same bloodline, okay? My favorite vacation state, Alaska. Um, Maybe Vermont too. Maybe not Vermont, Maine. Am I frozen yet? Nope, doing pretty good. Should be freezing up here in a minute or two, guys. Need to readjust my, yeah, we all need to readjust our income. Actually, Killington. Actually want to, not sure, I will probably be doing them on this channel, more travel stuff and not World According to Briggs. People are expecting something different over there. So I think I'm going to start having my travel videos on this one, like when I go on cruises, things like that. Actually, I'll be on a train next month. What are some of your favorite places in Colorado to visit? Aspen. I love going to Aspen. I like Denver. I do. I like Boulder a lot. I've been to all 50 states, and most of them more than a few times. Yeah, more personal stuff on this channel that every time I try and put something on the other channel or get away from the lists, not like I want to get away from the lists, um, people just tune out and it actually hurts the channel. So I want to do travel stuff. I'll put it here. I mean, you got your our what's up with. Those will go on the other channel too. They're not really a list, but they kind of fit in that theme and people seem to like them. My favorite hobby? I don't know. I don't really have any hobbies. The YouTube's my hobby now. YouTube's my hobby and my career. That's about the truth. Is your head getting bigger? I got a good sized melon myself. Frozen again. Nope, I guess I'm not. I thought I was. Noel, how are you? Going to the Nike store. Yes. I love going to the Nike store. That's my hobby. I love the streams too. I like doing the streams. It's just I've come to the conclusion they're hurting my channel. So I can't do them anymore. I'm going to do some for like the members and stuff on that one. But as far as normal everyday streams that we do on Fridays, they're going to be over here from now on. Is Kanye West a talented musician? I honestly don't think I've ever heard his music. I know who he is, and I know he's a musician and all that. I've just never listened to him. I listen to modern stuff, not the older stuff. I like the older stuff too, but I grew up on Los Angeles punk rock. I listened to Black Flag, the Germs, all those people growing up. And as I got older, I just quit listening to that stuff. Obviously, you normally do when you're about 25. And I did, and I got into other things, alternative. And these days, I listen to a lot of Bon Iver, Iron and Wine, Gregory Alan Isaacoff, people like that. Kind of like that folk rock type stuff they got going these days. What city is the best for exotic food? I want to say the Miami metro area and San Francisco or New York. Do you like Lego Star Wars? No, I do not. But my granddaughter does, and my son and my wife love Legos. You can start, well, a kid could start playing Legos with my wife right now. The kid will get bored in like 30 minutes and walk out of the room. My wife will sit there for 4 hours playing with the Legos, building stuff. It's weird. She loves Legos. I don't know if her family got her enough Legos when she was a kid. Dead Kennedys. San Francisco band. Jello Barfo. Have you been to Italy? My son lived in Italy for 3 years. I have not been to Italy. Best state for Buddhists. Wow, I don't even know. You regret nothing. Good thinking. Generation with everything that their fingertips they. Yeah, I've actually produce not pills, produce not pills, whatever. Sorry. Um, yeah, I think they lack a little imagination. I was just thinking about today. Remember popsicle sticks? Me and my friends used to sit out on the sidewalk and not like we are stabbing anyone, but we turn them into swords. You just sand them down on the sidewalk till they had a point, and we'd do that all day and talk about the point and the angle we had on it. And the kids don't do stuff like that anymore. I have kids. I have 3 or 5. It's my dad, Mercedes, 1959. My parents used to have a dune buggy when they go out of town and they didn't take it. Me and my friends would take it onto the streets. Then my neighbor across the street ratted me out once. And it was a good thing, too, because the night that she ratted us out about was like a Saturday night. And my parents came home Monday. She told them, and they started taking the keys, the dune buggy with them. Um, I almost flipped the thing over with like 5 friends in it. It would have been bad. Yeah, I wonder if they are. I think the knowledge technology is giving them, I think it overshadows their lack of creativity. If you're going to be creative, um, it's going to happen regardless of what you do. Some people just have them, but those accidental creative people, we'll see less and less of those as time goes on. Pesh Mode. Oh, I was big into. I don't know who Lords of Acid is. I don't remember that. Good old days. I did listen to a ton of Pearl Jam. Depeche Mode was big when I was in high school. I loved it. I actually saw them at their 101 tour. I was at the Rose Bowl in California, and it rained. It was great, though. Rarely rains in California, and I go see one of the greatest bands of the 80s, and it rains on me. Yeah, I love me some Mexican food. Always, always. Hey guys, I gotta use the little YouTubers room right here real quick. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Are we frozen again? Hope not. You know what's really funny about there won't be any baseball till March 1st. I was on my on this day, I was talking about a baseball strike, no, hockey strike. They locked out the entire season like a couple days ago, but 10 years ago. Um, and I didn't realize baseball was having a labor, lockout right now. I didn't even know. I've gotten so involved with YouTube over the last couple of years. A lot of the things I used to really be into have fallen by the wayside. Well, thanks, Denzel. How do I go about supporting your channel? On this channel, just watch the videos and subscribe. The other channel, just watch the videos again. The one thing you can help out with my channels, which anyone listening, there's only 36 of us. At the end, this is a big thing for YouTube right now, where they want you to stay and watch other videos, so that you have an average of how many videos do people watch in a session. So if you ever want to really help out the channel at those end screens, click on one, watch a video. I have had Puerto Rican food before. I've never train hopped. I do. That was a good time, Noel, in baseball. McGuire, speaking of that, that was my first lieutenant. My first lieutenant, not him. One of his cousins, looked just like him, was the first lieutenant I had in the military. West Point grad. West Point grad, I should say. I've never had Ethiopian food. I don't get that exotic. I like my Chinese food, my Mexican food, different Central Americas, Brazilian food, South American, I should say. A couple different things like that, but I don't get into eating snails in France, and not into curry. And yeah, I don't go too far out of my comfort zone when it comes to food, but I do love different foods. It's like when me and my wife going on cruises and stuff, you have what is he called? Concierge. And the concierge has, hey, I can get you into this restaurant day. How about I make you things? Oh, no, we don't need to eat at a French restaurant, thanks. Where's the pizza place? Do we talk good states to live in this channel or the other channel? That's the other channel. This one we're just kind of talking about everything. I've never really understood what this channel is going to be. I've had ideas for it, but it's always here, and it's kind of meant for the blogs and travel and stuff like that. When are you judging a taco contest? I'd love to judge a taco contest. Spicy food. I love spicy food. Using that lentils on a type of bread making. Yeah, Ethiopian. There's so many jokes there because of the famine they had there. Ethiopian food. Do they have food? Um, no, actually. So the comedy brain side of me just starts thinking about that. Ethiopian food, is that like a sand burger or something? I don't know, that's wrong, but yeah, that's just me. They say, isn't Ethiopia still in 2014? One time I landed on a airplane coming into Portland, and the pilot gets on and tells everyone to, what did he say? The weather's this, and if you need to set back your watch, he said set it back to 1997 because that's where we're at here in Portland. I thought it was funny. I've never tried straight apple cider vinegar, but I mix it in with water just about every night. Matt, so I'm not going to get into politics with you on this one, but this is the thing about masks, okay? The mask experts said they won't prevent COVID, and they won't. It will go through it. What it was preventing or helping with is the distribution of the disease. If you're breathing, if you look and there's a cloud, it's an invisible cloud right now of me breathing and talking, of my droplets and everything else going out here. When you have the mask, it gets down to this area, not as much as coming out. So there's lessening the spread. It was never meant, and I never heard anyone that was a real scientist say that it would prevent the COVID. It will help slow the spread. Looked into Medistan leaders. I saw a thing on him on last week tonight with John Oliver. Hometown benefits mask, but every little bit counts. Yeah, that's the truth. Every little bit helps. Yeah, at the end, Matt, it always shows those end screens that I put up. On this channel, I don't think I've ever been putting up, but I got to start. Do you think you'd ever get any new tattoos? I might add to some of them. But yeah, I don't know. I have thoughts in my head of tattoos I want, but then I'm all, I don't feel like going down and sitting in a chair for 4 hours or 5 hours or 10 hours like this thing was. Oh my God, it took forever. I've tried TikTok and I put a few videos up there, but I'm like, I don't need this in my life, and I just moved on. Besides, if I'm going to create videos, I want them to be entertaining. I want them to teach people things, but I also want to make money off them. TikTok, it's not happening. They don't really pay people. I mean, their top promoters will, and those top promoters have a large enough audience where they can get sponsored videos and stuff. That doesn't work for me. I like to get paid by my videos like YouTube does. And yeah, that's the downside of TikTok. I'll get on there someday and waste an hour of my time because I start watching stupid stuff. I've actually kind of sworn off it. So, Sarah, I could see that, but I can't put it up because the COVID word is a blocked word in a lot of cases, and I don't know what just made it do that. But I could see your text; it just won't let it go up. I don't know why. I'm trying to hit it, but nothing. Thoughts on metaverse? Yeah, it's called Web 3, I guess they now call it metaverse, but it's the evolution of the internet. It's just something else we all got to get used to, just like we got used to this one. Yeah, Sarah, I believe that too. It's kind of dumbing us down. Yeah, it's number two for me, Denzel. I like my Mexican food, then I like my Italian food, Chinese food after that. Yeah, there's a whole lot of science denial out there. No, I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, too much of the sun can't hurt you, but You shouldn't be afraid of the sun. That's our vitamin D. It's what makes our plants grow. Why would anyone be scared of the sun? I did. Noel, that was such a good movie. Don't Look Up. If you guys haven't seen Don't Look Up, watch that movie. I will tell you one thing. They run the first set of credits. Wait for that little thing at the end. It makes something seem totally... Something that was really nothing in the movie. All of a sudden at the end, you're like, oh my God. It's great. But yeah, I love that movie, Noel. Yeah, I bet your teeth would appreciate that. I don't think that could really help. Apple cider vinegar across your teeth. That movie I like. Don't Look Up. I put it off for like a week and a half. When I saw the trailer for it, I was like, oh, I got to see this. I got to see this. And then it came out. It sat there for like a week and a half, and I was like, I'll get to it eventually. Then when I watched them, why'd I wait? Kendrick, how are you? Favorite Denzel Washington movie? The Pelican Brief. Or Carbon Copy. That's going way back. No, you don't want to do that as we real people want to support. Oh, okay, gotcha. It's a slippery slope. Just SeaTac Airport during blizzard. I have not landed in a blizzard yet. I've landed in plenty of rain. Never landed in a blizzard. I've not seen the Tinder swindler. Someone was telling me about that. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook will not hesitate to ban repeat offenders. Well, you know, it's funny how that works. They're in a tough situation. At what point are you censoring people, and what point are you, letting people spread misinformation? So they got to juggle it, and then what happens is if they'll warn you, then they got to get rid of you. I kind of understand. I kind of don't. I do read a lot of true crime stuff. True crime. I thought it was very interesting. I got to watch that. I'm going to probably watch that tonight. I know this one girl, Instagram, and we communicate back and forth. She works on cruise ships. She broke her tooth on a cruise at the very beginning of the pandemic, and she was one of those people that had to stay on the cruise ship for like 6 months because her own hometown wouldn't let her, or her own country wouldn't let her in. Well, during that time, she broke her tooth, and she was saying how excited she was because everyone's got to wear a mask. Anyone outside her room sees her with a mask on. She didn't have to worry about it. Did the Great Recession affect your life in any way? Yeah, pretty much. I got out of the military, and I'd been working for a designer for like high-end draperies, silk draperies and stuff like that. And then we're talking 2008, right? That Great Recession. And I went from turning down work to like my whole week, 6 days a week, were just filled out with jobs and work I had to do. And within about 3 months, I dropped down to looking for work and maybe working 3 days a month. That was it. Hey, we're doing pretty good. We haven't frozen in like 20 minutes, maybe even more. I think of the last time I pushed a plug in, I think it's working a little better now. As I say that, it freezes. Oh my God! That is great. Just as I'm talking about it, it freezes. That was, you couldn't plan better timing. That was great. That was perfect. If you guys just got here, don't forget to like the video. Robert Moore, you have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Henri spoke too soon. That's about the truth. I'm going to do something real quick because I set these things up when I put this together for tonight and it doesn't seem to be working. Let me try this. Nope, it just makes me lag. That's supposed to still be showing me, but that's too bad. I had that one and I had this one all set, ready to go. And it's not supposed to black me out. Oh well. Maybe I'll figure out what I did wrong. It is Skynet. There you go. Yeah, you know, you know what the worst was? Oh my God, the Disney Channel when my kids were young. I would sit down and watch whatever in the morning with them while we're getting ready for school, and I'm watching. I realized that they'd show a cartoon like Timon and Pumbaa, right? They would show 5 minutes of a segment of the show, and then they would go into like five commercials, each one being a minute, minute and a half. But they weren't just, it was the same commercial over and over, and it was always seemed to be promoting Disney stuff. I was like looking at it going, this is just like programming them. It's almost like one of those mind places where they program you to be a good communist or something like that. That's what it reminded me of. I was so happy when they got out of that whole thing. Oh, I didn't know that about Indiana Jones and Sean Connery. I do know that every time they've made a Batman movie that the Joker was going to be in, they've approached William Defoe about it. Willem Dafoe. They've approached him for it. I was watching a thing with him, and he's all, I never had any interest playing the Joker. He goes, I just have that psychopath vibe. Where's to get all my Disney cartoon shows from the 90s? Willem Dafoe, actor, Platoon. Am I getting his name right? Yeah, Willem Dafoe. What's up, AG? I don't know about. He's too skinny to be Batman. Robert Pattinson. Bourne series. I love the Bourne series. Equalizer is pretty good too. I like Daniel Day-Lewis. I loved him in Last of the Mohicans. This is the weirdest thing about YouTube, guys. I'm going to tell you this. So, when I was talking about the most hated countries and stuff like that, on this video I did like a year ago, and I was talking about how a lot of people hate Britain, and a lot of the times it has to do with the way they used to be and their arrogance. They just go places, take over back in 1800s. And I brought up in this interaction they had in the movie Last of the Mohicans, and it's so weird. There's some people on the internet, and I guess in life in general, that they find that opening and they just drive at it, and that they're like not listening to your conversation. They're looking for something to take issue with. So I made that thing, and I started getting all these comments. What do you expect from someone that got his history lessons from Last of the Mohicans? Last of the Mohicans. And it went on and on and on. I was like, oh my God, people. Yeah, you gotta have the good muscular suit to look like it. But maybe he will. But I just know the guy is the vampire kid, and I don't know how it's gonna work out. I don't think I did, Denzel. I've never seen Ronnie Coleman tape. Yeah, that video, the rudest people. That one kind of shocked me. A lot of people felt Spain and Italy. I've never had a problem with Italians or Spanish people. The pup and the pig are doing great. I was just down there seeing McMuffin a little while ago. She I was in the backyard, and she has a pen because she just likes to tear stuff up. So when we put her outside, she doesn't roam around the backyard like everyone else. She has her pen. So I'm out there doing something, and she freaks out if you're out there and you don't bring her a treat. So I go get her a little tangerine. I'm peeling it and I'm peeling it, and I start talking to one of the dogs who's right at my feet. She got so mad she rammed the gate like 3 times, like, "Where's my orange? Where's my orange?" Did YouTube ban your video because of narration? Which one? I mean, I've had a couple that were, um, I wouldn't say banned, they were demonetized. States have the most inclement weather. That would be North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Alaska. But I think I've done the coldest. I did one about disasters, and that came up. That played a big part of it. Most blizzards, most, type of hurricanes, things like that. It's booming mid-sized little country. A lot of places in the middle of the country are blowing up right now. And again, it's like what we were talking about earlier, the work from home people. So you're just going to see more and more people move to the Midwest. Watch. Pigs typically live 15 to 20 years. Didn't know this going into it. She has a regular vet that comes to the house because you're not putting her in a cage to take her anywhere. And she weighs like 200 pounds. So, well, maybe not that much. Probably at least a good 170. So getting her to the vet's next to impossible. So we have a mobile vet come by. She gives her medication. They put her to sleep because she freak out, and they trim down her hoofs and all that. Yeah, tornadoes are no joke. I've seen one in my life, and I turned the car around, went the other way, and it was a good distance away. Anything that could literally pick your car up and throw it a mile away, it's not something I need to be involved in. Wallabies and wombats. You know what I'm getting next? Once I have a rabbit too, which I don't talk about my rabbit. Um, But I have a rabbit, and when she goes, I'm going to get a hedgehog. I've always wanted a hedgehog. They're so weird looking. She's a sweetheart unless she doesn't get her way. And then she pitches a fit. She's a very spoiled little pig. Big pig, I should say. I'm a celebrity, huh? By the way, back in the Midwest, sleeper cities to move to. You know, Des Moines, Iowa is a really good one that people probably should start looking into. And Canton, Ohio. Mark my words. Where was I? I was in Southern California when 9/11 happened. Interesting story. My son Thor was fifth grade, fourth grade, something like that, and we were going to go to Magic Mountain, which is Six Flags place, and we planned it for once everyone goes back to school, like the second Monday of the school year, we'll go to Magic Mountain. It happened to be September 11th. We get up in the morning, get ready to go, and my wife calls from work and goes, "Have you seen the news?" And so I looked, and obviously Magic Mountain didn't let anyone in. We went the next day, and there was nobody there. They let us ride. I would be on roller coasters. I'd go through. I'd come back to the station. The guy goes, "You want to go again?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I do like some of their rides that would take like an hour to get on. I was doing 3 in 10 minutes. Hey, Jenny W., how are you? Um, you can't pick up my rabbit. She'll let you pet her, and she'll come up next to you, and you could rub underneath her chin and all that. You try and lift her off the ground, she's not having it. I don't know if someone dropped her before we got her. We found her in our yard. She's obviously a domesticated rabbit. She's not like some wild hare or something like that. But she was hanging out in our yard one day, and my wife put her in a cage, opened it up, puts food in there, and waited, and she got in, and she locked the cage, and now I take care of a rabbit. That one was interesting. She calls me and goes, "There's a rabbit in the front yard." Sends me a picture. I was at work at the time. Oh, great. She goes, "It's going to rain. I feel like I should get a little house if it's going to be out there." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I ignore it. It was there for like 2 days. Eventually, she goes, gets this little cage for the porch so it could just hang out there. Next thing I know, she texts me at work. She goes, "I captured the rabbit." I didn't know we were capturing a rabbit. How many pets do I have? I have 2 dogs, a lizard, that's Ronan's, my son's. We have the rabbit, we have a pig, and a granddaughter. No, Charlie, I didn't move there, bought land there, and don't know what we're going to do with it. We had a half German Shepherd, half Whippet one time. She was a perfect dog. So freaking smart. There you go. The eastern side, not a bad plan. I like the Chattanooga area, but Knoxville, Johnson City, that's all pretty nice too if you're going that far east. You ever feed your enemies to your pigs? No, I have not fed my enemies to my pigs. No cats. I don't do cats. It's not our thing here. Video amusement type park. You know, that might be a good idea, but I did this one on amusement parks, and it did horrible. So I was going to follow it up with some other ones. But you know what? I did that one when I thought I'd start separating them into 5, part 1 and part 2. That didn't work out. I might try those again or something like that. None of the ones I split in half worked. Thoughts on Greeley, Colorado? I like Greeley. It's been years since I've been to Greeley. I mean, many years. And when I went there, it just seemed kind of wide open and kind of not a lot going on there, but it was nice. The houses they were building were nice. Have you ever been tempted to get in a glider. I've thought about it before, but I like a little power when I'm flying, you know? I don't like trusting the thermals and a good pair of wings. Housing market in Miami is crazy. It always has been too, though. Oh yeah, all those things are so expensive now. So I've gotten into cruising the last couple of years, and I've looked into the Disney cruise. What I can get on Norwegian Cruise Line with a butler and everything like that is like a normal ticket on the on the Disney cruise ship. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna wind this down because I'm getting a little punchy, and we're probably gonna freeze soon anyway. So I get this thing where I'll be like talking, and then I'll lose my train of thought right in the middle, and that's because I've been reading too many comments and I've been talking too much. So when I get punchy, we usually end it. All right, everyone. We're gonna call it good. Well, actually, let me answer this one. Best cruise routes, in my opinion. So, the Alaska by far. Especially if you're not into the beach and all that, definitely take the Alaska one. All right, guys, have a great night. I'll see you next time.